This is Damon Stevens with Fenwell Builders. Today is Sunday, June 12th, 2022, and this is stock market update and also prep for Sunday to get you ready for Monday morning. And it's an important time to stay on top of the market. Obviously, with the CPI numbers coming out last Friday, the market definitely reacted negatively to that and dumped quite a bit in the trading day as we closed out Friday. And off over the weekend, if you're trading futures as well, it's continued to come down. So we want to make sure you're prepared for Monday so you know what to expect on the open and take a look at the week and see what may be ahead. One of the most important things here is that FOMC meeting results will come out on Wednesday, which could create a reaction in the market, possibly further downside, or the other thing on the other side of that is does the Feds when they meet this week and provide that information, do they decide to ease up on raising interest rates another 0.75% or 0.5% this week in reaction to the market? So it just depends if how much they care on the market, or if they want to get things in check. Maybe they are aggressive and the market just continues to drop here for a bit. So we want to be prepared for both sides. So let's get right into it. Take a look at what's going on. See how we closed out the week. All right, so let's take a look at the market here. So you see Dow Jones closed down 2.73%, NASDAQ down 3.52%, S&P 500 down 2.91%. Nice red pretty much across the board for the most part here. You can see our scanner didn't hit anything either, but we did have one here that trade that's been good here, and we'll cover that here in a minute. But in the meantime, I just want to show you, as I talked about at the beginning, here's the E-mini S&P 500 futures live right now. And you can see here, this is kind of where we closed out on Friday, and you see here that we continue to drop, and we're down around 386, 38.64 right now. And so on S&P 500, if you're trading index, that's around 386. So continue to drop here on the market since Friday. So that means we're probably going to be open lower. Now you can see here on our downward trend here, down, if we continue to go down here towards the bottom of this band here, you see we were at 3,900 right here. So anytime tomorrow, we could come down around 38.40 possibly, or lower, but we continue to go down. So just be aware of that. I mean, there could obviously be a bounce tomorrow at some point, maybe up to the 20 moving average. I'd assume we would probably check in at some point there. But Friday, you can see Friday we just kind of dropped, and it wasn't till the end of the day that we could bounce off that 20-day moving average and come back down. And you see we could curl back down. I would expect, if we do touch down here, we would come back and hit the 20 possibly on Monday, unless, and I really thought we would flatten out because we do have the inflation, the interest rates coming out here on Wednesday. So FOMC would tell us, if interest rates are going up, 0.5% or 0.75%, based on the market dropping right now, the Feds might say, hey, let's ease up a little bit so we don't go too extreme, and maybe they do 0.25%. I do know they're aggressive about getting interest rates in check, or the economy in check. So, we could see, them get aggressive and the market aggressively come down. So just be prepared for both scenarios. But I was expecting, maybe Monday, Tuesday, we'd be kind of possibly flat. But if there's more selling to go in the market, we could continue to see downside as we're seeing over the weekend if you are trading the futures. On the positive side, though, Redbox just blow my mind on Redbox. This is the one that was green, one of the ones that green for Friday going in. You can see here the high here back on June 8th was 11.23. Really, Redbox just kind of went flat a little bit here, and then all of a sudden came back to life on the 10th here, and you can see here just continue to elevate, hit our upper trend line here at 14.62, then backed off, hit the 20, found support, and starting to curl back up again. So looking for Monday for continuation play on Redbox, possibly here back up to our trend line here. That put it about 15.59. And I'll show you, the reason I think this can come up here and hit this again. So expecting, Redbox maybe be one of our positive stocks for Monday. And so here, looking at a weekly chart of Redbox, you can see, let me just shrink this down a little bit so you can see, this is what we're looking at. So if you go back here on November of 2021, you see the high of 27.22 on Redbox. And then it's kind of came down here, flattened out at $1.61, and then just kind of worked its way back up. So now here's where we're at today, 13.20, this big old huge breakup candle. So you can see there's some little bit of resistance here, kind of where we stopped out. You can see we kind of spiked it, but it always came back right to this level here, which is at 15.59, which is, if we go back to our prior chart here, that's the top of this trend line. So this is our upper trend line, this is the lower trend line, and that would be tagging it right here at the top of this edge of this third deviation band out here. So that's where we're expecting to possibly go. If we blow through that, I mean, it's very well, the high could be, back around this 27.22. All that was just a one-time spike on the open when Redbox hit the market or opened up. So on the market here. So we'll see what it brings. But Redbox will definitely be on our short list for Monday morning. Looking at our new week here for the calls and puts. So red lines are the puts. Green lines are the calls in the market, and this is S&P 500 for next week. You see current stock price was at the time 390. Max pain now has moved up to 422. So everybody's shorting the market, expecting that downside on the market. You just see the market just flooded with puts, and our ratio here is still 1.8. So almost 2 puts for every call right now. So max pain, that'd be doing a rally on the market, which I don't foresee being up to 422. Market really rewarded everybody this week anyway. When the market dropped, all those that had puts on were rewarded really well this week. And so do we have another week of rewarding of all these people who are short in the market? It's likely. Based on where we're at today, I don't suspect that there's going to be any type of rally unless for some reason the Feds decide to really ease up and on Wednesday and give us some news that allows the market to rally back up. So just look, continue to look at, people are shorting the market right now. So just be careful out there. Really with the market in a bear market, you don't want to be buying anyways. Typically you only want to be shorting the market on all the any type of rallies up. You want to be shorting those. So just be aware of that. So here's the news. So Monday, you have 1-year inflation expectations. You have the 3-year on the Feds. On Wednesday, you got retail sales and then the FOMC statements. So at 2 o'clock, that's where you're going to hear also from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. And this is where you want to be watching the market. So you can expect some reaction on Wednesday. And then Thursday, you're going to see continuation on that reaction because we have initial jobless claims. So a lot of major news coming out this week. We really want to make sure you're informed, make sure you're prepared, for what's coming up, and that way you're ready to react. Looking at our stocks now, looking at our short list here, Google, we had this nice, we're holding that 20 days, for quite a bit, and now we've dropped below it. So, do we come back and retest the lows here at 2044, or do we find support somewhere in the middle? You have a little bit of a gap here at 2195. So I'm looking for, possibly continuation play based on the futures coming down. So it's possible you gap fill, or if the market's not ready to do that, if we want to stay flat this week, expect some support here at 2195 and the market to kind of pull back until Wednesday. Amazon, we have a gap fill up here as well, gap down here. So 109.65 is where we're at. So look for, possible play down here to 101. If the Fed's, if FOMC meeting on Wednesday's not good news, we may come back and retest those lows. Otherwise, we do have a gap to fill up here at some point, but we could also just kind of consolidate here flat for a couple of days while we wait for the news. Apple, continuation pull down off that 20-day moving average. We're kind of right here where we were before. This was a little bit of support, or should have been support. If we break through it, then look for a retest at 132.61. Nvidia pull back as well off that 20, kind of in the middle of this breakdown candle. We could see a retest of this candle, which should take us down to 160 area this week. Meta, So we're coming down here. We're right at the same level. So 176.11 was where we kind of had this little spike up. We're right down to that same exact level. We could come down here and test 169, hopefully find support and bounce off. Look at RK. We were in this channel for a few weeks here, broke back down. Now we're in this lower channel. So look for a possible, retest of, the bottom of this candle here at 39.18 or 35.10 if we have some bad news this week. U.S. oil, this nice climb, new highs, pulled back the last couple of days on that from those new highs, stayed flat right above this, right below this candle here. So if we find support here, then, we could possibly try to rally back up. Otherwise, our support's clear back down here on the 20-day moving average, which is 85.88. EOG, so energy has been doing well. I don't have anything on here on solar, but solar has done well through this challenging time right now with the market. But you see EOG, another new high, 2-day pullback, just the same as you're seeing with the energy ETF. So again, support's down here at 135.88 for EOG. So just look for a possible pullback here on these energy as well. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe and continue to watch our videos. And if they're helpful for you, definitely like them and smash that like button for us so we can continue to bring these videos and updates to you throughout the week as we move into this challenging time with the market. It's always good to know what's going on, who's trading what, and where are the opportunities. Looking at the dollar, you can see the dollar is elevating, nice elevation back up. 105, kind of it's a high here. So we very well could come and test that high this week, maybe even blow through it here. So look for maybe a play up here, possibly to 106. Looking at gold, gold's trying to rally up here. We did get, above our resistance line finally here. And so we're 1876. Next resistance there is 1890. So we'll see if we can get up through there. You see that this has been a challenging area right here. Come up and test it. This is a third test. So this could fail possibly, depending on what the news is this week. But you can see 1, 2, 3. This could possibly pull back down to 1811 if there's bad news. Otherwise, we need to hold this for a few days above this resistance level so we can head up towards 1890, which also will be a resistance area. You can see it was back here in February. Looking at the S&P 500, you can see here we have a nice gap here that we got to come back and fill at some point. 389.80 is where we were at. Use 38.65 on the E-mini was going to push down here in this range right now. So very well we could come down and test this 380.54 and maybe even double bottom there. If the news is bad, we could come down to 370 or even down to 360 this week. So just be prepared for that downside as well. If the news is good, obviously come up, fill this gap around 401, 402, and then possibly rally back up to the 20 at 406.62 right now. Triple Q, same thing. It's going to be the same story at these. You got a gap to fill up here. If we get good news this week, we could go flat next couple of days while we're waiting for news. Or, if there's some bad news, 280 would be the next level of support. We're back down to our band down here at 263. Semiconductors, same thing. We have a gap above. And then we have this, you would come back here and retest this low here at 215.23. IWM, gap above to fill, or a low here at 168.46. Financials, we have this gap above, take us up to this, back up to, this support line here, which is now resistance, or, we could test this low at 32.23. Healthcare, we have this gap to fill as well, or right now we're right here at where we were before. So this could be a double bottom here if it could hold this 25.28, which is where we're at right now. If not, then we're going back and retest some of these lows. So you had 24.53 and 123.67, which that would correspond right here with the bottom of our second deviation band here. XLE, so energy sector. Again, we talked about this. So we had a high 2-day pullback, support down here at the 20 at 86.74. Hopefully for a bounce. If we have some bad news, then energy pulls down as well. We have our deviation band down here at around 84, or we have the 50-day moving average down here at 82. Ethereum. Where did my Bitcoin go? All right, so my Bitcoin went away. So let me go ahead and just add it here real quick. Let me load my Bitcoin chart. Oops. Okay, there we go. All right, let me pull this back here. So Bitcoin, obviously with the rest of the market, it bounced off here. It's off the 20. It's coming down here, down to 27. 25,401 would be a double bottom for it, and that was our low before. So look for possible support here at 2541 for Bitcoin. If it breaks that, then we have our bands down here at around 22,000, or this lower band down here somewhere around 18. So hopefully, Bitcoin can hold in this range here and hold it. Maybe we could get a double bottom here on Ethereum. Back to Ethereum. So Ethereum broke these support levels here. So we're heading towards some newer lows here. So we probably should look at a weekly chart here on Ethereum. So you can see this is kind of where we had a little breakup. This is kind of where the breakup here. So we're kind of in a good zone here to hopefully find support. If we break this level here around 1267, the next support down here is really at this 488.95. And you can see here that was, where we kind of consolidated for a long time before breaking out. So it's possible to have to come down that level to find support here if we don't hold kind of the area we're in right now on Ethereum. So possible some major downside, but usually it kind of falls along with Bitcoin. So we'll see if Bitcoin can get support here. So that's our stocks, our cryptos. Definitely the market's headed down. So even if we get a bounce, don't jump in and think you're going to go long until we get some confirmation days that we're continuing to go long, because more likely those are going to be temporary bounces, and then there'll be more downside. So just be careful out there as you're trading. We'll talk on Monday, see how the trades went for the day, and we'll get a plan for the next day. So everybody have a great night and great rest of your weekend, and we will see you on Monday.